Why does teaching for social justice matter? It matters because without it, we wouldn't have a voice or share certain freedoms. Without it, the oppressed would remain oppressed. Social justice is not only the distribution of opportunities and privileges, it is the advocacy for those who can't always advocate for themselves. Now, what does it take to be a socially just educator? To be a socially just educator, it means you have to be culturally competent, accepting, and never silence your students when they have a question. It means to always listen because children don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Throughout this semester, we have had numerous learning opportunities through readings, mental maps, and in-class activities. Although what stuck out the most to me through this semester were many of the readings because they opened up my eyes and they opened up this cultural lens and this social justice warrior that I never knew I had. What social justice has taught me is the importance of having a voice and using it to your advantage. Through the readings of Kauhi and Sadker, I have learned about how to address race, class, and gender in the classroom. Through Chimamanda Adichie, I learned the dangers of a single story and why to educate my students on every side, no matter the amount of questions I receive. Because it is my responsibility to share the full story and always educate my students on our past so it will not be repeated. It is also my responsibility, as Ladson Billings would say, to be culturally responsive, which includes 3 major components on making my classroom more culturally responsive, such as cultural competence, which would imply that students must be masters of their own culture before they start to dig deeper into other cultures. Also, academic success. And in order to promote academic success, I must teach in a way that is meaningful to my students. And socio-political consciences, which would allow students to challenge our social norms and institutions. So why does teaching for social justice matter? It matters because the end goal of social justice should be liberation and justice and equality for all. What we're fighting for in social justice is for other people to have voices and for cultures to shine through. So, how does the idea of social justice intersect in our classroom? Through the reading curriculum as Windows and Mirrors by Emily Stiles, she notes the importance of the connection between eyesight and insight. What the curriculum of Windows and Mirrors does is enable the student to look through window frames in order to see the reality of others, and the use of mirrors to see their own personal reality reflected. Now, to incorporate social justice perspectives and ideas into your classroom, it's always important to make sure to listen to your students and make sure your classroom is an open learning environment where students can feel free to be themselves and to share themselves with you. Some more ways to make your classroom more socially just is to always make sure to include all your students and make sure the dialogue is open. Some ways are inviting some out-of-class speakers to come in and talk to the students, to have diverse books in your classroom, and just make sure to remember that as our students learn, we learn with them. Thanks for listening as to why social justice teaching matters, and thank you for listening also as to why it is important to us as educators to make sure that we make our classrooms a more socially just place.